Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist traps people. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So what is a trap? A trap is something you do not want to be in. Example, it's something that you didn't know was set up. You fell into it, and many times you don't know how to get out of it. This is what the narcissist does each and every day of their lives. They set traps. They set big traps. They set little traps. They set misdirectional traps. And what they want to do is they want to keep people confused. They want to keep people on that roller coaster of emotions going around and around and around and stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state where they exist. This is what the narcissist does. It's what they want to do because misery loves company. And the anxiety-riddled narcissist, they need to keep people underneath them trapped in that dark energy force or dark energy space because it makes them feel good about themselves. The narcissist needs people to pump up their fragile ego. They need people to manipulate, people to take advantage of, people to believe in the mask, and people to trap. So now that we understand what a trap is and that the narcissist sets these so frequently, let's discuss different kinds of traps that the narcissist may set. One would be a very, very serious one, although they all are, but one would be, let's say you married the narcissist and you had a child with them. Well, the narcissist, of course, is anything but the parent of the year, but they wanted to have a child with you, probably, to keep you trapped and tethered to them for X number of period of time, perhaps 18 years or until the child grew up and was of legal age. So you would be stuck paying the bills. You would be the person who was going to work. You would be the person who was trying to raise the child, although the narcissist, your perhaps ex-spouse or spouse, was counter-parenting. They weren't co-parenting. They were trying to destroy your relationship with the child. But this is one way the narcissist may set a trap, and it could be the male or the female. It doesn't matter. If you married the narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. These people are anything but the parents of the year. What they want to do is destroy relationships, and their children are no different. So there's one example of a trap. Another trap would be, let's say that you loaned the narcissist money. Maybe it's your brother, your mom, your sister, somebody like that. Let's say it's a family member who turned out to be the narcissist. Well, did you ever get that money back? Probably not. Were you told A, B, and C that, yeah, if they could just have a little more time, in the meantime, if they could just borrow a little bit more money, or when the market turned and they would sell certain things and they would pay you back, or when A, B, and C happened, but you know what, you never got that money. And the narcissist was probably bleeding you dry more and more and more. I hear this frequently during one-on-one sessions with people who are parents of the narcissistic child who now is an adult child. And they would send the child money here and there and throughout their existence. Maybe they needed money to buy a car, or needed money to pay rent or a phone bill, etc. Well, eventually the person, the parent, and the adult child that they have had now, who is now grown up, that child milks all the money from the parent, and the parent is left reeling, and they don't have much money or any resources. This is another way that the narcissist, who now is an adult child, traps their own parent and takes their own money. Here's another one. Let's say that your parent was a very loving, stable, healthy person, but your sibling was a toxic narcissist. And again, you didn't know they were narcissists, but now you're figuring it out. Well, your parent, heaven forbid, but they passed, they left the planet. And now what happened? Well, the will is now being divided or being gone through. What did your sibling do? They probably had your parent rewrite the will, took advantage of them in a weaker state of mind, or maybe even forged their signature, who knows? But this is another way that they trapped your parent, who probably was subservient or needed the guidance from your sibling who turned out to be the narcissist. Now again, why would the narcissist tolerate and put up with trying, or at least acting like they would take care of your parent who was a stable, healthy person? Well, first of all, maybe they didn't take care of your parent. Number two, maybe they said they were doing it and they were behind the scenes stockpiling money and assets and everything and trying to beat you to the punch. Well, the thing is, why would you want to beat anyone to the punch from your deceased parents' assets? You wouldn't, because you are a loving, stable, healthy person. But you see, your mindset's different than the narcissist, and they probably trapped your parent, a kind, loving, healthy person, into signing documents. These are just examples of what the narcissist does, how they want to trap you. Another one, let's say that you moved halfway around the world, city, state, town, country, wherever you moved, and your roommate turned out to be the narcissist. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can just be a friend or an acquaintance or somebody. Well, what happened there? Once you signed the lease, maybe for a year or two, whatever you did, that's when things turned, and this roommate now began blasting music left, right, and center, or banging on walls, or not doing the dishes, or not flushing the toilet, or not paying the utility bills, or not cleaning up after themselves, or having people over and eating your food, or drinking your water, or whatever it was. Well, what would the narcissist, this person who turned to be a narcissist, why would they do that? Well, number one, they can. Number two, they're a parasite. Number three, they have you trapped because you're now tethered to them with the lease for a year or two. And the next thing is you didn't know what narcissism was. During any of these examples, you weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school. So you didn't know that people could behave this way. And one of the key things that the narcissist wants to do is keep people trapped and isolated and dependent or reliant upon them. This is what the narcissist thrives on. They thrive on misdirection, on smoke and mirrors, and on acting like they're the best person in the general public, and behind closed doors, they're anything but that. They're a toxic, manipulating creature. They're a person who you never know which person will enter the door, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. This is what the narcissist does. It's not until you are isolated or you're with these people for an extended period of time under the same roof or in the same environment that you realize, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. This person's worse than I thought, and they maybe even are a narcissist. Who knows? Other ways the narcissist will trap you is, again, with finances. Maybe your parent or one of your parents is the narcissist, and they have a lot of money, let's say. Well, you need money to pay tuition for university. Maybe they decided to not pay your tuition this semester. Why? Because they didn't have to, and because they wanted to withhold your education, and they wanted you to go back and perhaps tell them that they're the best thing, or you're apologize or whatever. In other words, they want you to be reliant upon them. And maybe if you played their game, they would turn the water faucet back on of money. In other words, they would pay for your tuition. But if they didn't pay it, and perhaps it's the university you're referring to costs a lot of money because they do these days, well, you can't do that because you need to get a full-time job, and it's difficult to get the help you need to pay that tuition. You see, this is what the narcissist does. They will use anything, any which way the wind blows. If they have money, they will weaponize it against you. If they don't have money, they will use your money and weaponize that against you. They will go any which way the wind blows. They're always looking for the next new shiny object. They're looking for the next person to trap. Think about this one. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship or friendship. It can just be an acquaintance on a dating app or social media app. Let's use dating app as an example. Well, first of all, I'm not a big proponent or believer in dating apps, but if you're on them, God bless you, good luck. My hope is you understand that they're crawling with toxic people. But having said that, maybe you struck up a friendship with somebody on a dating app because you liked their profile picture or their description, etc. Well, one thing led to another. You started talking to them, and 10 minutes here turned into an hour every Friday. An hour every Friday turned into 2 hours every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, which turned into every day. Next thing you know, you're talking to them or texting them during work, and when you get out of work, and you're not living your life. You are not participating in your hobbies. You're not going to family functions in the city, town, state, country you live in. Your work is taking a hit, your health is taking a hit, and now this person who's on a dating app or whatever app it is, they're now asking you for some money because they've hit hard times. And if you could just send them a couple $1,000s, it would really help them out. Well, what did you do? Well, now you're in it too deep. You don't know what to do. So maybe you send them a little bit of money, and that little bit of money turns into a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Before you know it, you are up to your eyeballs in credit card debt. Your job is hanging on by a thread. Your health is taking a hit. You don't have any food in the refrigerator. You're way behind on your bills because why? Because now you're trapped, and you've given a toxic person halfway around the world your money, your time, your energy, your belief, etc. Next thing you know, you're waiting for those texts or phone calls that are disappearing more and more and more. Why? Because the toxic person at the other end of that dating app or social media platform, they've removed themselves from communicating with you because they know they have their dirty fangs or hooks sunken into you, and you are trapped. These are examples that I hear about so frequently. These are examples of kind, loving, stable, healthy people giving themselves to complete strangers or giving themselves to toxic people because they don't know what narcissism was or is. And the narcissist wants to keep people trapped. Think about another one. You divorced the narcissist. Okay, well, did that go swimmingly or easily? Absolutely not. It was probably dragged out way longer than you anticipated because the narcissist wanted to keep you what? That's right. They wanted to keep you trapped. They wanted to bleed you dry of your finances, of your time, empathy, energy, love. They didn't want you to see the children. They didn't want you to have custody. They didn't want you to win the court case. They didn't want you to get divorced. They wanted to keep you tethered to them because that fuels them, that gives them supply. So when the narcissist has people trapped in any capacity, it is advantage narcissist until that person, which perhaps was you and or perhaps even is you, gets untrapped, removes yourself. This is when you go no contact. You block the narcissist. You delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Now, I understand it's not that easy, but if you were in a trap and if you were in a relationship that you were trapped in, you know what I'm talking about. It is not easy to get out of these relationships, specifically when you share a roof or a mortgage or children, or you're married, or you moved halfway around the world and you don't speak the language, or you're waiting for or this person controls the financial strings or purses. This is what the narcissist wants. The narcissist needs control. They need to feel important. They need to be needed. They need to be relevant. And they want to punish other people, which was you for a period of time, for being yourself. Remember, the narcissist doesn't possess empathy. They don't possess love, kindness, consideration, compassion, growth, abundance, fortitude. There's no we in the narcissistic relationship. It is I, or me. And how many times did you hear this when you're in the narcissistic relationship? Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Nobody has ever told me what to do, and you're not going to be the first one. Well, think about that mindset. Who would say that except for a child? Well, the narcissist, because that's their tiny little pea brain going around and around and around on a script. And that script has to be rewritten every single moment of their life. And it's got to be a perfect script that benefits them, that doesn't benefit anybody else. And how do they keep that script going? How do they get the producers of the tiny little script in their pea brain to keep spinning around? By stealing other people's energy, stealing their time, stealing their money, stealing anything that they possess. This is how the narcissist keeps people trapped. It's what they did before they met you. It's what they did when they met you. It's what they will be doing tomorrow and for the rest of their existence as long as they're gallivanting the globe. So understand, when you were trapped, that was not a good place to be. Getting out of the trap was the path. And now that you've gone no contact, etc., you understand that you are the priority, that you come first, second, and third. So understand the message. Everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You're not alone. Remember that. You're not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And if you were trapped, you know what it took to get out of that trap. If you think you're in a trap right now, you need to try and figure out how to get out of it. And what you need to do is you need to have boundaries. You need to say no, the strongest word in the English language. You need to understand that there are people out there that do not have your best interest at heart, and at the top of that list is certainly the narcissist. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And the weather is turning here, everybody. Bye.